Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about Sunderland fixture list there, our AFL trophy first round opponents and our Pappa John's trophy draw group stage draw. But first I'm going to be starting with our fixture list for League One. So let's get started. Sunderland first in August. Sunderland first game of the season will be against Wigan Athletic at home. Our first away game of the season is going to be MK Dons away. Then it's followed by another away game, Burton Albion. Then we've got two home games, AFC Wimbledon and Wycombe Wanderers / Derby, depending on what happens with their points thingy at the end of the August. What's my thoughts on it? It definitely isn't like an easy start. We will get some tough tests in there, but I think we can get a hard start if you get harder start like we have the last few years. So I think we're being let off quite nicely if you get what I mean. And it will back us to at least get 3 wins from our first 5. And so yeah, then September we've got Sheffield Wednesday away, Accrington at home, Fleetwood away, then 2 home games against Bolton and Cheltenham. I would expect us to win the majority of them games if I'm honest. Sheffield Wednesday obviously came down from the Championship, but I think with all of their struggles, I don't think they'll be relegated, but I do think we should have enough. We'll still beat Accrington. Fleetwood are always a hard game, but I think if we've got the right team, we'll still beat them. Then Bolton and Cheltenham's just came up from the from League Two, so I would expect 6 points from them too. Although I do think Bolton especially would be a hard game. So yeah. In October we start with Portsmouth away, followed by a home game against Oxford, but before back-to-back away games against Gillingham and Crewe, before coming back to the Stadium of Light against Charlton, and then an away game against Rotherham to end the month. My thought that this is when the tough run really starts, if you get what I mean, with some tough teams like Portsmouth. I think under the Cabrio brothers will be up there next season. Oxford obviously made the playoffs last season, and I do think that they'll be up there again, in around the top 6. Gillingham is one of them tough away games, and probably one of the most awkward teams to play in the league. So yeah. Then Crewe, we struggled there last season, took 2 worldies to rescue a point. Charlton Athletic, we got beat, and Charlton are a bogey team to us. And Rotherham just came down from the Championship. I guess they'll be in and around the promotion race next season. So yeah. So for November, we start with 2 home games against Lincoln City and Ipswich Town, and we end with 2 away games against Shrewsbury and Cambridge. I think that'll be a tough month, Lincoln were 90 minutes away from the Championship last season, beat us in the playoff semi-final. Ipswich, I think under Paul Cook, he's bringing the right players in, what will make them better than that they have been the last 2 seasons, really. Shrewsbury, Cotterill's building a great team, and I do think that they'll be up there again. Push up the table, whether they'll be good enough to make playoffs, I don't know. And Cambridge, to be fair, we still beat Cambridge, just came up from League Two, so yeah. Then December, we'll play Morecambe at home to start the month, then we'll play Plymouth at home before back-to-back away games against Ipswich, and then on Boxing Day, we'll play Doncaster before Sheffield Wednesday at home. So, in my opinion, we still beat Morecambe and Plymouth with no disrespect. Ipswich and Doncaster will be 2 hard away games, but our back us to at least get 4 points. And Sheffield Wednesday will be a hard home game, but I believe that they won't be unbeatable. So yeah. Then in January we'll play on New Year's Day, we'll play Fleetwood at home before back-to-back away games against Wycombe and Accrington Stanley, before Portsmouth at home and Bolton away. Again, I think that'll be a tough month. Fleetwood, I know we got 4 points, but I don't know if that was because of Joey Bambo. We always struggle against Fleetwood. Wycombe will be one of them big physical teams where we always struggle. Apparently, Accrington Stanley never make it easy. Portsmouth, they're a hard team, and Bolton, yeah. So February, we'll play Doncaster at home, Cheltenham away, AFC Wimbledon away, MK Dons at home, Burton at home, and Wigan away. So for me personally, I I would expect to think there's 5 games in there. I would expect at like 4 wins from that, with no disrespect. I think that's one of the easier months of the season. So, if we've got now put less than 12 points, I will be very disappointed with that month. So yeah. Then March, the penultimate month of the season, we'll play Charlton away, Crewe Alexandra at home, Lincoln away, and Rotherham at home. Another hard month, like Lincoln, Charlton, and Rotherham will all want to be up there, like next season, like to be in and around the mix at that point. And Crewe, like I said, even at the stadium, like the game was a tough game. We only beat them by a goal to nil, so that would be hard. But in the final month of the season, we'll play Gillingham at home in April, Gillingham at home, Oxford away. On Good Friday, we'll play Shrewsbury at home. Then on Easter Monday, we'll go to Plymouth. Our final home game of the season is against Cambridge. And our last game of the season against Morecambe. I think the last 3 games especially, Morecambe, Cambridge and Plymouth, I think if you offered like any team in the league them 3 games to end the season, I think they would take it with no disrespect to them teams. Shrewsbury will be and then the other, Gillingham will be a hard game like always, because we always aim to struggle against Gillingham. Shrewsbury and Oxford will be hard games as well, so yeah. So overall, I'm like quite happy with it, if I'm honest. Yes, like I said, there's some tough months in there, but I don't fear anyone. That's the single League One level, if you get what I mean, where I don't fear anyone, and I think that we should be getting should be picking up 3 points on more games than not. So yeah. So now on to the AFL Trophy draw. Sunderland will play Port Vale away. My opinion is I'm happy because it's a very winnable game against the team in the league below, and I think we should have enough. Thank God it's not a championship team, to the point where we would probably could get away with playing a weakened team. So yes, hopefully that we should get through and have another mini cup run, maybe get in second for round, maybe get Premier League Cup if we get that far. So yeah. So then the Pappa John's Trophy is us, Lincoln, Bradford and Manchester United. I think it's a hard group. Obviously we know Lincoln. We still play Bradford. I don't know how good Man United's under 21s are. Lincoln obviously got to the semi-final, but we beat them last season. It'll be a hard group. I'm not lying, but I do still think that we should get out of it. Like, even with just seconds, obviously we're trying to defend the Pappa John's Trophy. Would be the first time in history to we're pretty much looking to be the first team in history to retain the Pappa John's Trophy. Well, that'd be interesting for me. I'm not that bothered, if we don't, because we've got to get out of League One. But like I've said, I do think we'll get out of the group. So yeah. So leave your thoughts on the fixtures. Are you happy with them? Are you disappointed? Then leave your thoughts on the Cowbell Cup and Pappa John's Trophy draws. So yeah, so that's the end of the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, view, comment, and say yeah.